Let me set the record straight. So the journey back to number one is not easy. It's we already run at a really high pace, completely full. So we've got to increase our business to get 30% at least, and to give ourselves a chance on getting back to number one within the next 2 years. And on the videos, I just keep it real. Like, it just is what it is. Jordan and I, he's a young, growing, ambitious man, and he is a pain sometimes. He is, but he's driven. He is so driven. He works around the clock. He sells a lot of houses. He does very well. But if we're going to grow by 30%, and I just had this conversation with him this morning, prospecting is the engine that's going to get you there. So if you're watching this in real estate, you understand. And if you're not, prospecting is cold calling. So this is Jackson's house here, and this is the street that we live in, down there. So what prospecting is going and knocking on that door, and that door, and that door, and saying, "Hi, I'm Matt, would you like to sell your house?" And they say no. And we work a core area. And your core area produces like consistent results over time. You've got to get this thing with saturation, where you do it over and over and over and over again. You build your personal brand within a core area. And then this gives you a consistent flow of clients and houses, and you become really well known in this area. So that's sort of how real estate works, but not a lot of agents do it properly. It takes a long time and it's very difficult. And that's how I built my career. So Jordan has been with me for about 7 years now. He's been in real estate for about 10 years. And I'd be lost without him. He's phenomenal. But because he's growing, and I think every business person has this thing, or salesperson, you're growing, where do you put the time? Because prospecting is really the only thing that builds your business, because you've got to bring more clients in, but then you've got to manage them and provide the right level of service. Why I keep banging on about it and why we keep arguing about it, it's not because he's hopeless, it's because he's at capacity. He's so full. And he's like, well, where am I supposed to do it? So when you see us like going, what we're doing is, I'm trying to get his brain around, he just needs to own a little bit of time a day to build the garden for tomorrow. I've got to create the right systems in place around him so he can be in, because his high value tasks are being in front of clients every day, which he's amazing at. He sells about 50 to 60 properties a year, and he lists about the same. So he does, for his age, he'll be one of the best in the country. That's why I love him so much. But the other part is, my responsibility as a team leader is to say, how do I get the best out of everybody, including myself, to get to the 30% extra? That's what I'm looking at right now. And I've got to be like the bumpers, when you play, bowling with the kids, like the bumpers on the lanes, or keep him in the lane that I think is going to be best for him and his business and his clients and all of that, so he can focus and be his best each day. Because sometimes you can get pulled all over the place, and there's a thing called the law of diminishing effects. If you're running so fast, you're going like this, but then over time you start to go like this, because you're not completely focused on what you do best, the high value tasks. So this video is for everyone watching this, and we've had many messages to say Jordan is actually probably the most important person in the team. He is growing at a rate that I have not seen before. In real estate, he is literally going like this, and I'm hyper focused on making sure that he still does the tasks that got him there. Why people do well in business and sales and anything like that is they do the things that build their business for tomorrow and build the clients and take care of everybody. But as you get busier and busier and busier and busier, if he doesn't keep doing that, his business isn't going to grow, and he's not going to have the time to provide the best level of service that he does. He provides amazing service to his clients. I want to keep this thing real. I've decided to vlog it all the way through. We're going to make it a series of some properties that we're tracking and the ups and downs and everything, but I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I'm not like that. I just want to tell it, the story as it is. And at the moment, if there's just a hole in his business that I need to help him with, it's prospecting his core area. He doesn't have the time to do that because he's already at capacity, but I've got to create the thing around him so just to free up at least half an hour a day, which I think I can do. That's why we argue so much, because he's already like, well, I'm doing so well. What more do I need to do? He doesn't need to do anything apart from just keeping in contact with his core area, which is my job to help him do that. That's why we argue. I love you, Jordan.